Predicting who'll win the election for President of the United States is not easy, particularly when everyone seems 100% sure of an outcome and then the other guy wins. Here are the top 5 most shocking outcomes of US presidential elections. At number 5. Despite obtaining 500,000 votes more than George W. Bush, Al Gore couldn't make it to the White House in 2000. Now, what made this presidential race outcome shocking is that Al Gore was supposed to win easily in Florida. But after a baffling series of recounts, which highlighted how archaic the ballot system still is, Bush was declared the winner of the Sunshine State by only 537 votes. On December the 12th, more than a month after the election, the Supreme Court closed the matter, ending bids for further recounts of the Florida ballots and sealing Bush's electoral win. Winning Florida, Bush beat Al Gore at the Electoral College score, becoming President of the United States. At number 4. Vice President Richard Nixon was a likely successor to the popular Dwight Eisenhower, who, after 2 terms in office and the adoption of the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution, was unable to run again. But Nixon's opponent in the 1960 presidential contest was Senator John Fitzgerald Kennedy. JFK proved to be one of the most talented young politicians of his era and of the 20th century. Despite the gap being only 119,000 votes, Kennedy demolished Nixon in the first historic TV debates. It's curious to know that for a few campaigns, candidates didn't want to attend TV debates as they were just too scared of repeating Nixon's poor performance. TV debates are pretty customary today, but it wasn't always the case. Reminder, the first Trump-Biden debate is scheduled for September the 29th, 2020. In 1980, we may have seen the greatest recovery ever in the presidential campaigns. 6 days before Election Day, Jimmy Carter was way more advanced than his rival in the presidential race, with just one TV debate to go. In what's considered by the vast majority the greatest performance of a US presidential candidate in a TV debate, Ronald Reagan trashed Carter in front of millions of Americans, securing the presidency. The debate is remembered for Reagan's quips, "There you go again," and "Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?" We dug up those short clips so you can relive history.
Governor, there you go again. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Is it easier for you to go and buy things in the stores than it was 4 years ago? Is there more or less unemployment in the country than there was 4 years ago?
At number 2. Of course, it must be them. Donald Trump was not only a surprise winner as President of the United States, but also for obtaining the Republican nomination. We may have forgotten what newspapers and commentators were saying about Trump when the Republican race started. Everyone was divided between Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, the political rising star of Florida. Few were still betting on the Bush family, but Trump, very few were. However, when the game started, here you go. Trump consistently beat each and every other candidate, often with unconventional arguments and attacks, until the grand old party was forced to nominate Trump as 2016 candidate. By July, it seemed certain that Hillary Clinton was about to become the first female US president. Supported by 2 former presidents and still highly respected by the Democrats, America believed they could see the first woman in the White House as president. You all know Hillary had been First Lady beforehand, and this certainly lasted until CNN officially announced that Donald Trump was the new President-elect of the United States of America. Few people still don't believe it nowadays. Some of us remember going to sleep thinking Hillary and waking up to the Donald surprise shock. And at number 1. A few weeks before the 1948 presidential election day, the Washington Star ran a political cartoon showing an agitated President Harry Truman looking at a bulletin board full of depressing headlines about his re-election chances. In the cartoon, Thomas Dewey, Truman's opponent, stands behind Truman, grinning and saying, "What's the use of going through with the election?" Now, no one thought Truman would win a second term since a week prior to Election Day, Dewey, the Republican governor of New York, was an incredibly popular figure and ahead by at least 10 points in the polls. On election night, Truman went to sleep early, expecting an imminent defeat. However, it was in the middle of the night when his staff woke Truman up, celebrating his second mandate. The Chicago Tribune headlined the morning after first page of the newspaper, "Dewey defeats Truman," becoming one of the funniest first pages ever. Now, you didn't think we had it, but here it is. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please feel free to comment below and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.